yourself.
Hello, everyone. So, first of all, I want to thank you. Thank you for this invitation. I'm really happy to be here and have this opportunity to talk with you about my subject, the things that I research and I study. So, my name is Jaime Leite Jr., and I'm from Brazil. And now I'm in Canada doing part of my PhD. And my pronouns is he, him. Um, so this is the agenda that we have today. Uh, First of all, I want to talk with you a little about my personal and professional trajectory, and I think that's really related with the subject that I study. Also about some concepts that I use, and especially in Brazil, we use. I will talk a little about the Brazilian reality, and then we think about some life possibilities. So, I'm a gay guy. I was born in a small city in Brazil. It was a very traditional city, and it was a city that the difference, that the dissidents had no space, had no. It was a very conservative city, and the life was projected to be lived in a very traditional way. So, of course, that lifestyle, that ways of life crossed my life and also crossed my interaction with the people and how I experience my sexuality and my gender and everything. So, when I finished my high school, I moved to another city in Brazil. And in that moment, I met the social movement. And that was a really important moment for me because I like discovered my group. I discovered my community and I saw people that was understanding what I'm feeling, who I am. And that was a very important moment for me, also because I was in the moment to think about my undergraduation. And I start to think that I would like to do something in my undergrad that could help support LGBT population. So I had a friend that showed me and talked with me about occupational therapy, and he told me, "Oh, I think that you like occupational therapy." So I applied to occupational therapy, and this is a reality in Brazil. Occupational therapy is in the undergrad level. So you apply and you do 4 or 5 years course, depends on the university. And when you finish, you're at occupational therapist because I know that are some universities around the world that you need to apply for an undergrad, and OT is in a grad level, right? In Canada, it's like that, for example. So in Brazil, you apply specifically to occupational therapy, and I applied for it, and I start to do my OT course. Uh, and in my first month doing OT, I linked it. I started to be part of the Mituia laboratory. It's a laboratory in Brazil that work with social occupational therapy. I'll say a little about it later. And I started to do praxis like university extensions. I don't know how you call it, but it's in Canada they call it service. It's basically how the university gives back to the society the knowledge, also the money that it's invested in the university. So in my first year, I started to do some university extension, especially with homeless population. And in that moment, I realized that there are a lot of homeless population that were queer and experience violence different from the people that are cisgender or are heterosexual. So the exposition of violence were different. Also, the strategies that that population used to have to be safe were different, and was especially because of their gender and their sexuality. So in that moment, I started to think what my future profession in that moment could provide that population and support them. So I did two scientific initiation. In Brazil, scientific initiation is when the undergrad student like research and want to start to do some research. So scientific initiation is research that undergrad students do. Um, and I did two scientific initiations. And my scientific initiations was to understand the occupational therapy training, especially to handle with travestility and transsexuality. So here I'm understanding travestility as a gender identification, specifically in Brazil. So maybe that's not a word that you are very familiar with, but it's a trans identity that have a lot of cultural specificities. And this article in the back was the article that I published with the part of the results of my first site of my scientific initiations. So you can access it. So in general, the results about this research was that in occupational therapy education, in occupational therapy training, we are not prepared to work with that population. And one of the data that was interesting was that the social movement inside of the university was, in general, the place that the student have some education about that population. And so the social movement inside the university is something really important to the education to the student, especially to talk about the subject that is not in the curriculum, that is not mandatory at the university. So in general, the social movement talked a lot about the social problems and things that it's not in the curriculum. Also, part of the results of that research um, show me that occupational therapists was not being trained to work with that population. But occupational therapists were was working with that population because in the praxis they are called to work with that population, and they had a lot of they had a lot of issues to handle with that population. So one of my questions was, okay, if they are working with that population, if they're not training to work with that population, but they're working with that population, what are they doing? How are they doing? And what kind of background they are using? What kind of theoretical basis they are using? And these questions were the basis of my PhD research. So in my PhD, I'm doing my PhD now. So basically, what I'm doing is uh, apprehend the occupational therapist praxis about dissident genders and sexualities, and I will tell you about this concept and how this concept arrived to me um, in Brazil. So basically, that are my questions. What occupational therapists are doing, how they are doing, what are their goings, and what are the theoretical bases that they are doing. So the first part of my PhD was an scoping review, and I'm trying to understand what the occupational therapy are doing worldwide. So the results of the scoping review were published in the American Journal of Occupational Therapy. So that's the bring up the second article, and you can access the results of that research. Also, in my residence, I did a residence in mental health before my PhD. And in my residence, I was seeing a lot of people arriving in the mental health service. And that people that arrived in the mental health service was there not because they had a mental health problem, but it was a mental health problem that was developed because of some prejudice that they faced. And when the professionals are doing the clinic analysis and thinking about what kind of treatment, the prejudice, like the homophobia, the transphobia, was never in the center of the debate. It was just something, oh, that happened. And in general, that motivate that population to try to kill themselves, that they put that population in vulnerabilities because they need to uh, drop off of their houses and they face a lot of violence with their family. So in my monography of my residence, I make that discussions how we need to understand more broadly the experience of that population and not to simplify the problems that that population lives in some health problem or in a diagnosis. So also in the middle of my PhD, I'm trying to find some occupational therapists and also occupational scientists that work with this subject, that work with gender and sexuality. And we start the Sex Genome TOS. It's a network that I'm part. And currently we have more than 100 people in the network, people from very different countries and continents, and there are people that study or practice or teach about gender and sexuality. So that's a little of my trajectory and how this subject arrived in my life. And now I think that it's important we think about some concepts just so you have an idea about just to have a basis about what we're talking here and do you understand my perspective. So I think the first concept that is important to we talk, it's about dissident genders and sexualities. For me, this concept was really important because when I started to do my research, I was thinking also about the policies for that population and how we have a lot of identity policies. So policies to gay population, transgender population, and I don't know, policies for women, but this policies in general is very excluded for transgender women. So the concept of gender and sexual dissidence was really important to think about that people that were excluded from the identities, and was a concept to help me to think about that bodies and that person, that people, that experience, that it's not categorized, and that population that experience some dissidence, but don't want to fit in any identity. But also consider the people that fit in identities and live totally well with that. So it's not a concept that exclude the identities, but also include the people that do not fit in the identities. And what is important to talk is that concept has its basis in the cultural studies, especially the queer studies. And it's a concept that make an opposition to the notion of diversity, because the notion of diversity can be really used in a very liberal perspective and thinking about normalization and related with the multicultural discourse, that discourse of tolerance, you know. So we're not thinking about tolerance. We're thinking about uh, the rights to live and fight for our space and our rights, you know. And also that idea, right? When I think about dissidence, a post-identity notion is evoked, because talking I'm not talking about any specific identity, but I'm also, this really important in the queer studies, that heterosexuality is destabilized. So all the genders and all the sexualities that I think have no don't have the heterosexuality as the standard, as the basis. I'm thinking about different genders and sexualities by itself. I'm not having the heterosexual behavior, cisgender behavior, or way of life to describe the other's way of life. So that's part of what is behind of this concept. Another concept, another notion, idea that is important to talk with you, it's about the social issue. And I will talk with you about that because this is really important for me and also for my research group, and also talks a lot about the development of occupational therapy in Brazil. So I don't know if everybody here knows, but we had a military dictatorship in Brazil. And in the middle of that military dictatorship, the law about occupational therapy in Brazil were created. So the occupational therapy in Brazil were created in the middle of very hard moment. Um, and what happened was some occupational therapists from United States and Canada came to Brazil to teach the Brazilians how to do occupational therapy. And in that moment, the occupational therapy uh, was a profession very individualistic, and the professionals that went to Brazil teach specifically about mental health and also physical rehabilitation, and but in a very individualistic perspective. And the occupational therapist in that moment was seen as a social adapter. What a social adapter means? A social adapter is that person that your work was to fit the population in the society. So the society, it is what it is, and I'm working with you to you fit in that society, right? So the occupational therapist was not being trained to think about how the society needs to change, how the occupational therapy can support the society change. So the occupational therapy was a profession to fit the population in the society. So the social issues, the social issue is something really big in Brazil. The citizenship was a central element. The people were being died in Brazil, were going to the prison just because of about their thoughts. They are burning books and all of that things. And a lot of occupational therapists in that moment and professors of occupational therapists in Brazil say that's not what we need. That's that's not the occupational therapy that we need. We need to develop an occupational therapy that is linked with our reality, and we need to develop an occupational therapy that will face the realities that we have in Brazil. So the notion of citizenship were incorporated in OT praxis. So the OT praxis was not to achieve occupations or things like that. Was achieved to it was the practice of OT was to achieve citizenship and also to think about social participation and access to the social rights. And so that was the development of the profession in Brazil. And there are these two pictures that's about the dictatorship. So you can see a military fighting with a student. And this sentence is about freedom for the university without repression, freedom for the people in jail, and things like that. So what was really important is to think about the notion of occupation. So in Brazil, the notion of occupation didn't have the same meaning for the countries that speak English because the word, and when we translate the word occupation to ocupação, which means occupation in Portuguese, had not the same meaning. And we also had some historical problems with that word because the occupation in Brazil was used as an important resource to maintain the security and the institutional order. So occupation in Brazil was used as social control, especially if we think about the moral treatment that was really strong in Brazil. And in Brazil, the occupational therapists start to think about different concepts to describe the praxis that we do. So everyday life is one central element for our praxis, but the word everyday life, it's have not the translation of this word have not the same meaning that the word cotidiano have for us in Portuguese. This is the best translation, but it's not the same meaning because everyday life, it's a very complex concept for us. So in Brazil, we also think about ways of life, life projects, citizenship, social justice, and practice of freedom. So I really hope that you can access a lot of articles of Brazilian researchers. And when you do it, probably you will see a lot of these concepts. Also, the word activity is also important and maintains important for us because for a lot of us, the word activity have more meaning than the word occupation, for example. And this notion of occupation also have a very important root in the colonization of the knowledge, the colonization of occupational therapy in Brazil. So we had a lot of people that had an opposition to all of that and think that we need to describe and produce what we want with occupational therapy in Brazil. So occupational therapy in a political way, occupational therapy in that level, it's something from 17th in Brazil, right? And we have social occupational therapy. That's my basis. That's my theoretical basis. So in 60 to the 80s, we had the military dictatorship, and the social occupational therapy was institutionalized on 80s. So what is the social occupational therapy? It's not every occupational therapy social. So I think this is part of the questions that we have. We can talk about it later. But the social occupational therapy was really important because there are a group of researchers that start to think, I think that the profession have more to offer, not just in the health, but we can also offer resource. We can also have knowledge and tools to work with population outside of health perspective. So social occupational therapy were created and it start to work in welfare system, start to work in the justice system, and start to work in the educational system, for example. But not providing health answers for the issues that happens in that space. but providing social answers and economic answers for the social issues that cross the people's life. So they start to work with historically marginalized population, and they start to think outside the health perspective. And this was really important because the social occupational therapy created closer dialogue with the social science. So Foucault, Marx, Paulo Freire, Hombaba, Gramsci, Aníbal Quijano, among others authors, were really important for social occupational therapy to understand the social reality, to understand the vulnerability, to understand the inequities, the prejudice, why some populations suffer more than other ones, to access the social goods and things like that. And in social occupational therapy, we also work with the notion of the individual and collective. So we can provide answers to the individuals. We work with individuals, but we always think about the collective life, how the collective life impacting that individual's life, and how when we are working with communities, we are working with collectives, how that collective will impact in an individual life. So this articulation and also this dialogue between the micro and macro social dimension, it's very important in social occupational therapy. And this one of the debates that started on 80s in Brazil too. Now I will talk with you a little about the Brazilian reality with the population dissident of gender and sexuality. So you're seeing some pictures in my presentation. This picture is also the way that I choose to give you some resource about movies and articles and everything. So this is the scene of the movie in Janara. In Janara, it's a very important person for us in Brazil. She's a militant. Um, and this picture is in the beginning of the movie, and this is a cemetery in Brazil, and this part of the cemetery is in general the part of the people that have no family, and it's the public part, the part that's paid for the government. And it's a very strong beginning of the movie because a trans person died, and she went there to watch it, like to give the condolence and yeah. So, talking about hard things, so according with the transmortem monitoring, Brazil had the highest murder rate of trans population in the world. And we have this data about 2020. So the National Association of Travestis and Transsexuals, it's a Brazilian association, points out the total of 184 murders and 175 were with female trans people. And also data from the gay group of Bahia, also a Brazilian institution, indicate 329 deaths motivated by hate crime. So this was in 2019, right? So of this number, 297 were homicides and 32 were suicides. This gay group of Bahia, it's a group that search in journals and in news, search everything and try to categorize and systematize these data about the death of LGBT plus population because we don't have it officially in Brazil by the government. This is the cover of the movie, the Janara movie. Also, we had a survey in Latin America with six Latin American countries. And the results about Brazil is that 73% of LGBT Brazilian students experience violence at school. 60% felt insecure in the school, and 27% were victims of physical violence. Also, 36% assessed the school as ineffective in preventing these types of aggressions. So this is also the reality in the education. And we also see that the dissident population is the population with more difficulties to access employment, to have a good job. And when they have it, in general, it's the most vulnerable job, right? So jobs with no good benefits, not good salary. So what we see in Brazil is uh, how if you are very far from the normative body, the normative behavior, you face a lot of prejudice and you face a lot of difficulties to access employment and have a good salary. So this is also a paradoxical in Brazil because we had a survey that the Pornhub website did. I don't know if you know the Pornhub, but it's a website that have a that hosts right pornography moves and porn moves, and the transgender population, the search for transgender moves. The Brazil is the country that mostly search for that content. So we have a lot of researchers in Brazil that also study this contradiction and how the hate and pleasure can walk uh, holding hands, and how the country that have the highest hate crime number with that population is also the country that mostly access this kind of content in internet. So based on this reality, we understand that Brazil is not a safe place for dissident genders and sexualities, for people that experience that dissidence. So it's in that context that we try to provide some technologies, some care strategies, and everything. So based on that reality, how we can think about life possibilities for that population, right? Because that population is still living and still here. And this is a big challenge for everyone, right? Because sometimes we think about survivor strategy. It's not about life strategy. It's about survivor strategies. And here I bring to you the Pose TV series. I love that TV series. I don't know if you know, it's a TV series that was produced by FX. And because I think that part of part of our strategy is recognize and value and respect the strategies that were already created by that population. How that population create different configurations of family and community. How that population create different forms of care. To think about religiously, morality, popular knowledge. And here, what I'm thinking, there are a lot of people that could not live in your family's house anymore with when they come out. So that population create their community. So how we can think differently when we want to talk with somebody's family. Maybe we'll not access their legal relatives, right? The legal parents. Maybe we need to open our mind and understand that that person network, it's totally different what our normative mind are thinking uh, about their family. Maybe will not be effective if I want to talk with some client mother or some client father. Maybe I need to talk with some friend and understand that friend that's part of the family. And maybe we'll meet some people that have nobody, and the institutional service will be the stronger network that people have. And for example, sometimes I met some people that don't access the health service and they prefer to go to some religious space, especially space with Afro-Brazilian religions to have some health support. They learn with other dissident people about, oh, what could be good for that pain or for another thing. And oh, but you are saying that it's right? No, I'm just saying that it's a reality because this population face a lot of prejudice. And when they are in pain, they don't want to experience more violence in the health service or the welfare service. So they create new strategies to live their lives and survive. So I need to understand that. And also, when I think about what could be good for that population, part of that task is just sit here and respect the demands that is already evoked by that population. So I also think that it's really important when we work in articulation with the social movement, right? Because there are a lot of people that experience the violence, experience the prejudice, and it's already thinking how we can cross it, how we can face it, you know? So, for example, in Brazil, the legalization of the sex work is something really important because can give some institutional support for some population that have no access to welfare. People can think about the retirement, for example. There are some people that think about the better access to institutional service. So, how health service, educational service, the justice, the welfare can be more welcome to that population, and how that population stop to face a lot of violence when they try to access that service, and they have a lot of life experience to talk with us about what kind of challenge that population have when they will access this kind of institution. So we are asking for that population, what is the barrier that they have when they try to access our service, when they try to access the place that we are. Sometimes we think that that population, oh, they not link with the service, oh, they're not easy to talk with them, they're not easy to access them. But we are thinking about the prejudice that our institutions are having with that population. So this is something really important to think too. And also quotas. So the quotas is also important because this population thinks about, I couldn't have the same possibilities to access health and education. So I can't compete in equality with that population, with the cisgender population, for example, with the heterosexual population, for example, because I faced a lot of prejudice at the school, at the health service, that I hadn't the support that I needed to I hadn't the support that I needed to fight with the same tools that that population could have. So, and it's also very important that we understand the the life of this population outside the biomedical perspective. How I can understand the lifestyle, the ways of life, the everyday life of that population as different, not as a symptom, not as a diagnosis, not as, something that will provide me some biomedical answer, and I will create some biomedical strategy to work with that. How can I understand transgender population outside the logic of gender dysphoria, and how can I understand these different ways of life, these different lives? And when I say that, I'm not saying that dissident or the population dissident of genders and sexuality, it's equal. It's the same. We need to also think about intersectionality, because it's totally different when I think about a transgender woman that lived in a middle class family and could access to the university Then I think about a Black transgender woman that lived in Brazil and could finish his high school. Or when I think about a transgender woman that live in a country that it's not legal, be transgender and face a lot of violence. So it's also different when I think about uh, Black gay guy who lives in Canada and is poor, or a Black gay guy who lives in Brazil but is rich, you know. So we also need to understand all that intersections to provide a better care, a better support. And in that sense, is also we also need to engage in the political fight against the prejudice and for redistribution and recognition. Redistribution and recognition is a concept from Nancy Fraser, and Nancy Fraser say that when we fight just for redistribution, redistribution is when we fight for equal opportunities of income. So the redistribution of money, so to eliminate the social vulnerability about the uh, about the income, that is not enough because there are some population that are facing prejudice not about because they are poor, but because they are who they are, right? And that's the recognition. When we have policies and we have a fight that will recognize these different identities. But Nancy Fraser also, if I just recognize that and don't have that fight allied with the fight for equal possibilities of income, will not achieve the social justice. So to achieve the social justice, we need to link these two fights, right? And we need to, of course, understand our profession as political, and we have responsibility in the production of freedom. And when I think about freedom, it's not an liberal notion of freedom. So this is my freedom. You don't have to you don't have to talk with me. Don't just leave me alone. I can do whatever I want. It's not about that. It's think about the codependence. It's also a concept from Judith Butler. How everybody is dependent of each other, and how everybody lives uh, need to consider that the another people life. So this notion of freedom is how everybody can be who they are. How can I create resource to the people be who they are and their lives not be in risks of death, right? How everybody can live security who they are. Uh, and I think that we need to understand the difference. We need to value the difference because the difference is important in the world. The world is made by difference and is part of our work as occupational therapists or whatever profession that you have. Support the difference, engage in a fight that support and value the difference. This is part of our professional goal and also our political goal as persons that are in the world trying to change the world. So this is a little about what I want to talk with you. This is a cover of a movie. This movie is called Bombadeira. It's can be a parallel of Pumper. It's about the Brazilian travestis who pump their body with industrial silicones because they have no money to apply to put prostheses. So it's very dangerous. We can think about the pumper in a lot of perspectives. This is also a movie. It's Tattoo. It's a Brazilian movie that I also suggest you to watch. So thank you. This is what I want to talk with you a little. I'm totally open to question. And this is Puma Camille. It's a girl in Brazil who worked with Vogue, also with Capoeira, which is a Brazilian fight, a Brazilian move. So Puma Camille mix this both movements. So I really suggest that you follow her on Instagram. She already gives some interviews to Vogue, the Vogue magazine. She does some worldwide tours. So this is my contact. So feel free also to contact me.